Good evening everyone, welcome back to Tom Plays Factorio for absolute beginners. We are still researching military technologies. I would quite like to check on some of our mines, but I'd also like to see whether we are getting attacks anywhere, because if we are, I might go and try and put them down with the equipment we actually have. Although having said that, we do need to replenish our defenders and distractors a bit. But I can at least manage an attack, I think. With our current technology levels, I'm just sort of thinking we can just reduce any attacks. But we're probably going to look towards getting artillery in order to put a stop to them permanently. Well, semi-permanently. So to check up here. Not that I really feel like we've been particularly low on iron or anything, but so that yellow there, I think, is low power again. Yeah. So we still haven't completely fixed the power problems either. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So we've definitely got a destination for our next attack. The power is also a problem. Let's just head up and do something about our oil fields. Check on the progress of the nuclear refinement while we're at it. Which would of course give us a permanent solution to our power issues. Right, let's start by repairing what we can. Replace this. Looks like we might be getting a bit low on ammunition actually. Yeah, brilliant. Probably use an extra gate. We just stick one there. Aha, right, okay, so Copper Mine Southwest is another place we might need to visit. But let's just use the current tactics we've been on with. Actually, this thing here we can probably remove completely. Get a few defenders out. Stick a few distractors around. And there we go. Seriously question whether the attacks are actually coming from there because it's such a small base. But we'll see if that makes any difference. Should at least have reduced them a bit. Okay, looks like our nuclear power is still going. Mining and things, I mean. And we're up to 12. I think we need 49. So clearly this is not happening anytime soon. So what about this power problem we've got? Okay, a little debatable. Could be accumulator related. So I might just try to put some more accumulators down. Actually, this might be a good place. Just on the grounds it's a bit narrow. So we'd probably struggle to put solar panels in here. There. So yeah, I think the accumulator charge is just... looks like we're not holding enough. To get through the night. Although we only went down to low power this time instead of no power. So that's definitely better. So ideally we want dawn to come and these to start charging up before they hit 0 megajoules. And that's just not happening. Yeah, so we've just hit no power. You can see it's getting lighter. So yeah, having these extra accumulators, I know there aren't many, they just happen to be what I had on hand. But hopefully they'll still help. Looks like we just had an attack from the north as well. Although it didn't actually do any damage. There we go. So now they've started charging again. So the only point at which we need more solar panels is when it's not able to fully charge the accumulators. Yeah, you see they're managing this bit fine. Okay, so physical projectile damage is done, so that should actually help anyway. So we're gonna see what it would take to get artillery, if I can find them. So they'll be in the red section because we can't look at them immediately. Right, this is artillery. So it looks like we need the yellow valves in order to do it. And we also need to have done the flying drones for some reason. We're a long way from doing artillery, aren't we? Fair enough. Maybe I should look at something a little closer to home. We could look at the laser turrets, because that would allow us to have a bit more defence. It will of course use more power, so we're up against our... Oh, actually, Flamethrowers maybe? Could look at them for this base. I might research Flamethrowers. Right. So I'm going to try and reduce the base to the north a bit, because we do have a few things left here. Okay. Well, actually, these spitters seem to be the main threat here, and with the distractors, we might be able to just take everything down completely. There we go. We're completely out of weapons apart from our machine gun, so I better switch to that. But we have taken out that base. Totally. And we now have flamethrower technology. Okay. So going from there... So how would we do a flamethrower turret, I wonder? Maybe we already can. Let me just check. Yes. So do we need to make one? Engine units. So we can't make one immediately, which is fine. Not really proposing to use a flamethrower at the moment. Right. You take me home. You can load up on some iron. Looks like the accumulators are still accumulating. Let's check everything a little. If we're desperately low on most stuff, it's just all of our military stuff that we're a bit low on. Oh, I see. I'm just trying to work out why we're getting so few piercing rounds coming through to the defender capsules, and it's basically because there's a branch here that splits them in two, and there's also a branch here that splits them in two, and they're only actually being serviced by this single assembler. So yeah, honestly, not that surprising. Kind of makes me feel like maybe we could do with another one. So that's not copper, is it? And if we're making piercing rounds, we do need copper. Copper, steel, and standard ammunition. Okay. Probably use fast inserters. So we're going to need to make some standard ammunition with iron plates, which is definitely doable. So yeah, I just basically realised that I was having to manually add ammunition to that drone maker a lot, and that's not really a good thing. Ideally, you don't want to be doing things manually if you can avoid it. Okay, so I think that just leaves us with copper. So we've got copper here, so we just need to get it up there. Shouldn't be a huge problem. another fast inserter here, and hopefully that will now start producing more armor-piercing rounds. So as well as increasing the speed of our military pack production, which we probably don't need, to be fair, it's now providing a constant feed to our defender capsules, so we'll hopefully have far more of those very soon. Okay, brilliant. So let's just replenish the stuff we've used. So I'm going to need more inserters, I think. And more... Oh, actually no, we're fine for inserters, but we need more standard transport belts. A little bit low on medium electric poles as well. Okay. Always get those the wrong way around. And I do want to just check on accumulators too. Although I haven't actually checked what the power did. Yeah, so it is kind of reaching the top, but it's not that close, so it might be worth doing another layer of solar panels. It'll give them time to maybe some more drones before we go after someone as well. And actually, I need to check on the research as well, don't I? And make some flamethrower turrets. Right. Okay, well, with the artillery in mind, let's do electric engines. Because even if we research them, we don't actually have to use them straight away. So we'll try and get those done. So consider this to be theoretical science. Let's just see. So our remaining outpost down here is next to Copper Mine South. So if you could take me to Copper Mine South, that would be great. You can pretty much get going straight away there. Do still have ammunition here, but I wouldn't mind dropping maybe another 100 just to be on the safe side. Remember, we don't have to rush when the research finishes, because it's all made up of the vials, so they'll just be saved until we need them. Having said that, it does take time, so let's get on with the next one. So the next one, I think, was robotics. It takes us towards the yellow research. And to be fair, we could actually start making those. What we can't do is use them, because the power they're going to require is going to be immense. So until we've got nuclear power going, they're not really an option. Depending how you do it, obviously. I mean, if you're willing to do immense fields of solar panels, I suppose you could make it work. Or if you wanted to go heavily into coal, there'd probably be more of an option. But personally, I would rather just go nuclear. See how much of a difference this makes. And let's also drop a bit more ammunition. Could have got a train again. Just had to wander by and make sure this all looks okay, which it does. So I think we're fine. I can avoid dragging our trains around again. I'm always keeping a bit of an eye on the minimap when I'm wandering around to make sure I don't get hit by my own trains. Normally I end up doing a crossing at some point, but I don't really see any need for one. So I actually haven't done so far this time. But yeah, gonna need to leave that a little to see where we get to in terms of the power. Sorry. So check where our iron train is. That's over there. Okay. Right, I might send you off to Copper Mine Southwest then, because I don't think you're in any danger of blocking the iron train in. So when it goes to Iron Mines far southwest, it can get blocked in at Copper Mine Southwest. So it seems a good time for it to visit, because I don't think that the iron train is anywhere close to far southwest in its little route. That's good. Okay, so robotics finished. Okay, well in that case, let's get back to the whole artillery concept. I know we needed yellow vials, utility science pack, so for that we're going to need the processing units and the low density structures. So let's do processing units, because they will feed quite nicely into our little advanced circuit factory. So the processing unit is like the next step beyond advanced circuits. Oh right, that wall's damaged. Alright, let me just repair it. No, I said repair it. And then if I pick it up again, it'll go along with the others. That's good. Okay, I'll make a couple more doors, because I've used some. Right, so we've got electric engine units, which requires lubricant, and flying robot frames, which require batteries and electric engine units. So we should also be looking at starting those off building, if at all possible. We're low on something? No, just a matter of time. Okay, cool. I guess we are building then. So I believe we were creating lubricant over here. So I guess this is where we will be putting our assembling machines for these two items. Okay, so I want to create electric engine units first. And then flying robot frames. So we're going to have lots of fun bringing stuff all the way out here. But at the same time, I do quite like having some space. So right, let's have you face the actual lubricant. Might put a pump in, possibly. I need some engine units anyway, because I was going to look at making flamethrowers. Well, flamethrower turrets. Even if only as an experiment / demonstration. Just realised this produces engine units, and they've all been going in there for me to use, but this is a valid production place, so we should also be feeding these engine units down here. There it goes. Okay, brilliant. That should increase our engine unit production. So if we did manage to soup up the advanced circuit production a bit, which actually it looks like we could, it will overall make our research go faster. Okay, brilliant. I'm definitely low on something. I think it's iron plates. Not very high on steel plates either. Might have a look at it. Yeah. Mostly the iron plates. Good time to pick some up too, because we seem to have a glut of iron. Which is something I never thought I would see at one point. Steel. Keep the steel down here. I'll just stick with 100. Okay, brilliant. Right, so I want a base. No, I don't want an offshore pump. I want another kind of pump. This kind. I'll do regular pipes. Make a couple more storage tanks. And actually, let's do a couple more. So rather than do lots of underground piping, I may as well just fill it in with storage. And they also want engine units and electronic circuits for this one. Okay. So they both want electronic circuits, which is fine. So that would be a good place to start, I suppose. Also tell it to store some. Don't care as much about this one yet. Okay. So, flamethrower turrets. Apparently I can make 2 of those with what I currently have. And I'll just dump the rest of my engine units in here for now. Oh, C, right. I'm guessing we need a fair few gear wheels then, because I'm definitely low on those. And looks like they used a lot of steel plates and iron plates as well. Not entirely sure how seriously I'm going to take the flamethrower turrets. I mean, they're impressive, but the practicalities of getting oil of some kind to where we want them can be a bit prohibitive. We could use them on the main base, but that's getting attacked less and less over time. Okay, so I'm going to need some kind of feed for electronic circuits, which should not be too bad because there's a giant one going up here to start with. There's obviously a danger that it'll get starved by the production matrix, but at the moment at least that's not happening. So, maybe if I take it up past all this, because that still leaves room for us to grow our factory. Do I at least want a splitter in here? Yeah, maybe. Go up a bit. I'm just thinking about needing to make more lubricant storage. Well, I suppose that should be less and less likely as we're now going to be using it. Bearing in mind we're not actually going to be using any of this stuff for quite a while. So we're definitely not rushing on it. Ooh. Copper trains blocking the stone train. Yeah, these are still grabbing the electronic circuits when they need them. So I think we should be good. Okay, so the other one was engines, which is going to be interesting. Because our engines, of course, get produced all the way down here. Which makes me wonder if we might be better off trying to do separate engine production for these things. So I think you can possibly make an engine just with iron. So we had some kind of iron feed, like for example this one. It might be quite feasible for us just to produce the engines here. Especially because we won't need as many. So if I make an engine production thing, I need gear wheels and steel plates. Okay. That's fine. So, gear wheels and steel plates. So we're going to want some gear wheel production. And that's nice and straightforward, that just needs iron. Use fast inserters for this one though. Quick splitter. Okay, also needs pipes. Alright, fine. In that case, much as I would have liked to set it up to be... No, I suppose we can. We can still set it up to be reasonably expandable. To make me pipes. Efficiency only for you. And then I'm going to need a steel furnace. Probably just the one for now. What are we doing here? Fine by the look of it. Everything's still operational. Okay, so we've got a nice steel furnace here. Going to do yet another splitter. Now we're going to do this, because really I want this coming past here. No, I suppose that's fine. And then I want the product to come out there. I'll give him a bit of a wide berth again. Okay, engines. Excellent. So I need this engine to somehow get to here. Very circuitous route, and there are nice transport belts, of course. Oh yeah, we were already... I did dump some engines in there, didn't I? Okay, so what do you need? Steel plates and... batteries. Right, okay, well the steel plates should be simple enough. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Nothing. Supposedly. No doubt I'll hear about it when something actually gets destroyed. That's right, so we do have a steel plate production thing here anyway. Okay. So as things currently stand, I'm assuming, well, I'm not going to need too many of these because they're mostly for making the flying drones. I'll probably turn out to be wrong because I can vaguely remembering they're actually a component in something. But I'll find a way to get them out anyway. They should at least be a late game component in something. And I suppose we can always reroute things. Right, batteries. Batteries are going to be tricky because I think I'm basically going to have to just bring them over from where I'm making them. So the manufacture's likely to involve sulfuric acid. And unfortunately, I'm making them all the way over here. Awesome. Okay. Okay. Grab some more accumulators while I'm here, I suppose. And other than that, I'm gonna need more transport belts, aren't I? Oh boy, why are we out of coal? What's going on? Oh, I see. Coal train's just arrived. Fair enough, I suppose, then. I shall just trust that when we come back we will no longer be out of coal. That's not going to help with our power problems. Definitely starting to notice the difference when I'm not using refined concrete to move around on. So I can see why people fill the bases with it. And I'm also not at all happy about our lack of coal. Right, here it comes. Okay, so that's the theory at least. It should allow us to start making and stockpiling these flying robot frames. We're already making and stockpiling electric engine units, so that's good. Question is, can we get a couple of batteries along to actually confirm this? Just to check that it's working. We're not making any because we don't have any sulfuric acid. We don't have any sulfuric acid because we didn't have enough sulfur. But now it seems that we're getting some. That's one battery on its way. There was a few. Ah, here we go. This is the problem. I somehow managed to leave a break in the... conveyor belt. And this is where you always test anything new you make. Or maybe that's just if you're me and leave pointless breaks in conveyor belts. I don't know. Oh well, this will make for a good test. So, yeah, that's not too bad. We eliminated a couple of bases up near the oil fields. And apart from that, we checked what we'd need to get artillery, which I think would help us militarily, and it looks like we had to advance our science in general, even get to the yellow vials. So we've been working on that. As a result of that, we've ended up researching not only flame turrets, which I've built but have not yet installed, so they're probably going to go up in the oil fields. So I think I could just power them with crude oil, but we'll check. That'll be next time though. And we also researched the electric motor and the, I think, robot flying frame. It's like a frame for a flying drone, which we probably won't be using unless we need it for like yellow vials or some other as a component. We won't be using them until we start with the full-on flying drones, which I'm not planning to do until I have the nuclear power working, which I'm not planning to do until we have 49 uranium-235 units. And I think when we checked we had 12. So, not something that's imminent. Basically, we're probably going to have the artillery shells before we have that. I think I'm going to be going around our various outposts at some point, checking for damage and working out which enemy bases we should put down next. Because we've probably stockpiled a few of our defender capsules and distractor capsules now. That's the other thing we did, actually. Sort of secured the supply of them. But yeah, hopefully we should now start building these flying robot frames. And I think I will probably end there. Interesting, why is this one not doing anything? Out of engine units. Ah! That's my fault. I forgot to put an inserter there. Okay, so that's good. So I'm reasonably sure that this is actually fully working now. So we'll hopefully be able to leave it be for a long time. And when we need them, we will have them. So yeah, gonna leave it there. Just about to finish research of the processing unit, so I think we'll be setting up some more manufacturing next time. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will see you then.